Sanbonan, I just want to say, just to kick off, that the concept of black unity is a bunch of rubbish. And I'm always frustrated when I hear so many supposed leaders speaking about the idea of black unity, that blacks need to unite. I say this because the world has moved, you know, and as the world moves, it seems like a whole group of black people are not moving. Um, the concept of uniting around a race, it doesn't make sense because when I think about it deeply, I don't think any successful progressive group has ever united around a race. There's a time, of course, when the black people of South Africa fought against the apartheid regime, which obviously had decided to create policies based on race, and those policies oppressed and exploited black people, and they shifted black people off the land. That apartheid government was an Afrikaans government, and they managed to take over from a British government. These are both white groups. The idea, of course, of overthrowing, beating, ending apartheid, and overthrowing the government was because black people had been treated unfairly, purely based on race. And there's an argument that the reason apartheid couldn't last for so long was particularly because of race. Race is such a shallow thing to unite around, because even before white people got to Africa, black groups were not united. The fact that we have surnames, or names rather, based on your land, your family lineage, whatever. But the fact that we have tribes, we are different people. And you travel across the whole African continent and you realize the indigenous peoples, they have got their own dress, their own languages, their own customs. Because we're not the same. I understand that the concept of uniting as blacks is with the hope that black people can take over the economy. The economy currently is dominated by white people and Asian people. And the white people who dominate the economy are not united as white people. The white Afrikaners at the top are united amongst each other. The white Jews at the top are united amongst each other. And even if you look at the Asians, the Chinese and the Indians are not united. The Indians themselves, you can split it further into the Muslims and the Hindus, and they're not united. The one thing you unite around is a value system, concepts, or a particular fight. And once that's done, you have to let go. So the fact that black people obviously fought for the end of apartheid, it was because all black people, of course, were oppressed. But fundamentally, we were still different. That's why there were still fights between the ANC and the IFP, Nkatha Freedom Party. Not just KwaZulu, but also in places like Kokatlehong and Vosloorus. Because we have differences in beliefs. When we keep speaking about the idea of black unity, it's like we're distracting ourselves with an idealistic utopian world, which we'll never get to. The ANC itself has got factions. The EFF, Julius Malema, has lost members. Andile Mntama, Mandisa Mashigu, other people as well, who have left because of different ideologies. The Democratic Alliance has lost Herman Mashaba, Lindiwe Mazibuko, Musi Maimai, because of ideologies. We'll call it race, but it's ideologies. I think they've lost Phumzile van Dam as well. Part of the reason why I left the whole concept of being black and fighting for black is because I realized as I traveled the country that we don't have the same vision. There are black people that are very comfortable exploiting other black people. There are black people that just want jobs. They don't care about owning businesses and being CEOs and living in fancy houses. Then there are black people that are just lazy. Whether it is their own laziness or it's because of the system, which has allowed them to live comfortably for free with RTPs and free homes and free RTPs, free schools, free healthcare. So as far bafethu, We're very different as people. And I realized some of us have got different value systems. Some black people in this country believe in hard work. They hate being beggars. They believe in doing for themselves. Some black people in this country are probably worse than the apartheid regime. They are comfortable to kill other black people. They are comfortable to enslave and bully and exploit other black people. They are happy to steal other black people's land. But you won't see it because you're clouded by the concept of black unity. The idea of celebrating isolated blacks like Patrice Motsepe as a wealthy black and then feeling like, ooh, we've got guys like Patrice. He doesn't represent you. Siya Kolisi is living his own life. He doesn't represent you. He doesn't worry about you and your problems. So it's very dangerous to celebrate isolated black victories because it's another way to pacify abantu abamnyama. To say, yeah, but look at Kolisi, look at Patrice Motsepe, look at Sizwe Mpofu Walsh, look at Sizwe Dlomo. Those are isolated wins. Those are not collective wins. Those are not collective wins. When Siya Kolisi became captain of the Springboks as a black man, it wasn't a collective victory for black people. You can't point at a group of 10,000, 100,000 black people that benefited from that. They didn't. Versus the idea of an Afgri, of a false gas, of a Sanlam, which was a collective win. Collective win. Based around a value system. Because AfriForum doesn't fight for whites. I hear a lot of people say AfriForum doesn't fight for white people. It's not a race-based organization. It fights for Afrikaans people, the majority of whom are white, of course. But it's for Afrikaners. It's not for French people, it's not for Germans, it's not for British people. If anything, the Afrikaans people have got issues with the British. That's why they had the Anglo-Boer War, today called I think the South African War. They're not united. Isolated black victories pacify you, and then the concept of we first need to wait for black unity before we win. That's nonsense. The DA is its own party. The Freedom Front is its own party. Obviously a multi-party now, such as the Party Ahmed Mashaba, Action SA. Those are generally white parties with different agendas. The black parties also should have their own agendas. It can't be that Cyril Ramaphosa living comfortably is fighting for the same thing that people that are living in villages are fighting for. That someone who's working at KFC is fighting for the same things that a black doctor who owns a practice is fighting for. But you guys get confused with this black unity rubbish. And I think it's one of the reasons black people are not going anywhere. Because you guys are not devising a value system and saying, of this value system, let me find similar-minded people. And you might be surprised that the people that share your values are not even black. Hard work, wanting to build, wanting to own an economy, not wanting to depend on government, not wanting to be exploited, wanting to dominate the world. The Springboks can win the World Cup because it's not a white team. It's a team that's meant to be based on merit. The most talented guys there. Yes, the apartheid government fucked up and they wouldn't let black people in. And that's what we're trying to fix. Certain companies today are thriving because they've got black leadership that is good and competent. Same argument is for females. It can't be that you want women to be united because women are not united. There are women that want to be CEOs and bosses. There are women that want to be housewives and raise their kids. There are women that want to dominate men. There are women that want to work with men. And there are women that are very comfortable to submit and be subservient to men. Abafani. Just because you have a fucking vagina. The world doesn't work like that. It works on values. And that's why you guys are getting nowhere. Black people lost a long time ago. And it seems that even with the fake apartheid victory, they continue to lose because they still don't understand how this world actually works. And one of the things that's important to understand is we come from ape. I'm not speaking evolution. I'm talking about now the state of mind, your psychology, and what we call civilization and progression. There's an ape. If you look at some of the rural, backwards, what we call backwards, amakaba, black people in the rurals, some of them live very close to ape. They are comfortable almost being naked. Call it beautiful culture when the women are topless and the guys bagqoka beige and almost nothing. And you think of the Khoi and the San people, the Bushmen, who are almost naked like animals, who are living off the earth, living off nature with very, very basic primitive tools. That's the ape that I'm speaking about. On the other side is maybe a Kanye West and an Elon Musk. Highly, highly evolved human being. Highly sophisticated, super technology, travel in private jets, have voice automated technology that operates their homes. Their phones are pumped full of apps. They are trying to create space rockets. The future, so to speak. Ape, Elon Musk. In this spectrum, and this is for black people in particular, but it applies to every race. On the spectrum, there are people that are stuck between ape and Elon Musk. And we make these assumptions, those of us at least who are well educated. I've got a degree, I've studied technology, I know how to code, I know how to fluently use a cell phone and a computer. I've traveled overseas, I've met people from different races, I've worked in big companies. I have a huge, vast database of knowledge. I can go and arguably compete with Elon Musk if I have the right platform and the right funding and the right opportunities. That's what the Kanye Wests of this world are fighting for. The Aliko Dangotes of this world are fighting for. Then you've got some of our people, like I said, that are stuck in the villages. Then on the spectrum, there are people that are still stuck in Malokshin, who are still struggling with English, struggling with maths. And you guys want to introduce NFTs and cryptocurrencies when these guys don't even have basic language and mathematics embedded. You've got clever blacks who jumped and end up studying textbooks, and because of that, they think they understand the world. Meanwhile, they don't have this understanding of what it means to be an ape and the underlying tangible aspects of life. And on the spectrum, we're all meant to be united, and it doesn't work. The reason your Silicon Valleys win is because it's a group of like-minded people that are at a certain level of progression and civilization. They've got embedded knowledge that allows them to understand concepts like NFTs, cryptos, the evolution of money, the evolution of technology, why we should be using these apps and not those apps, why we need to worry about mental health, the state of pharmaceuticals, the state of banking, etc. Then you've got people that really should be focusing on using shovels and spades, etc. Black unity is a pile of rubbish. Black people need to find their values, write them down, note them down, and you need to go and find people that share similar values, and then you guys can move forward together. Hope you guys will have a great day.